Good morning. Today I'm hosting Coffee with Bob. This past Sunday, Dr. Long shared a particular story in his sermon about a family that was on vacation, and they had traveled quite a way, but they all started feeling rather ill. And so they stopped at a clinic and they were all tested for COVID-19, and sure enough, they were all infected with it. Well, the doctor advised them to turn back. They didn't feel horrible, and so this doctor advised them to return home and begin a quarantine. And to the doctor's surprise, they refused. They didn't feel so horrible, and they said that they had a right to have this vacation. They were going to take all of the tours that they had paid in advance for, no matter the fact that they would be with other people exposing them to the virus. Now, of course, situations like that frustrate us all. We can't believe somebody would put their own needs over the greater good. Now, I love this country. I love that we have a can-do spirit here, and it's celebrated when people pull themselves up by their own bootstraps. But sometimes that very same individualism can be a detriment to the greater things of our communities. When someone exploits the community or kind of runs over people to elevate their own needs, it's a tragedy to everyone. Now, of course, there will be times that putting your own needs first makes sense. Things like seeking an education or seeking to do better in your job. That kind of individualized goal is something that really also serves to benefit others as well. But when we tend to only focus on ourselves and we have little to no regard for the sakes of others, that's when we all suffer. After hearing Dr. Long's sermon, I couldn't help but reflect on the trip that we took to Kenya, Africa last year as a church family. We toured several places around Kisumu, and the people lived in such poverty that they didn't have electricity or running water in their homes. Many times they didn't have doors and windows. They simply had sheets or strips of fabric hanging in those open spaces. And of course, without running water, they didn't have indoor bathroom facilities. They had outdoor latrines, and they were very basic, usually just a hole in the ground. And so when we started to gather together with groups, with the people, I felt very confident that I knew what these people needed. Instead, there was not a single person who brought up the concerns that I just mentioned. Not a single one. Instead, everyone was focused on the needs of the community. They wanted clean water available. They wanted an education system available for all of the children in their community. One that was safe and easy to access. And finally, they all wanted health care in their communities. And so I was really struck by this desire to put the community first. Now, it really wouldn't have worked any other way. If all of these people had focused on their own needs, and they were justifiable needs. I mean, I consider electricity and running water to be necessities of life to have in your home, and they didn't have them. So these weren't just little things. They had very justifiable reasons to focus on their own needs first. But if they had done that, nothing would have been accomplished. By focusing on the needs of the greater community of the town where they lived, they were able to have clean water available to everyone. They were able to have health care. And because of providing that for the community, individually their health improved. And so they were able to focus on their own individual goals at home. They worked hard on their farms with their livestock and improving the lives of their family. By improving access to schools, it relieved them of the stress and worry for their children's future. Instead, they could truly live in the present and make the most for their family. The truth is, we are called to put the needs of others before our own. And in times of trouble, we have a tendency to kind of put up a guard, or we have our defenses up and we turn inward. But when we focus on our own needs to the detriment of others, everybody tends to lose. When we will open up and be a part of serving the greater community, and we're part of a great community, when we will focus on that, everyone tends to win. I hope you have a great day today, and know that you are part of making this community great.